But back then, like you said, you think, well, it's just, that's just he's just a baby boy, he a mama boy, whatever. A lot of times these kids don't know how to ask for help, and they're speaking the only way they know how, by their actions.
I don't think I don't know.
I've heard this before, but how many stories do you think touch on big brother, big sister touching kids?
Right, they don't put that out there.
They don't, because they don't want to, they don't
want to mess up
their image.
Taint
that image. You don't want to taint that.
It's so many kids that when things happen to them, then they do go home and tell a parent. The parent don't believe it.
They don't believe it.
Mm-hmm. Then you got police officers. You got pastors. These kids supposed to look up
authority figures
to them, but then when they come home and do tell their parents, it's like they brush them aside.
Right now, if you see certain signs that are going on right now, if a child is being isolated, that's a red flag. You gotta question it and find out what's going on. Why are you being isolated? Why come you don't want to go out there? And I isolated myself from what was going on because coming up as a kid, I used to think that the older kids, the teenage boys, used to mess with the young boys. You know, a teenager molested me, and I thought that's what all
a boy did.
Yeah, it was a boy, and I thought. In my mind, coming up, I thought, well, that's what all the older boys do. So I would go and play with them because they were teaching all the youngers how to play basketball and this right there. I mean, you had big brothers that was from another mother trying to school you along, but it was just this one Mr. Nasty Boy that I used to call him, who would take some ones and say, hey, come here, let me show you something else, which was ungodly. You know, he took my innocence away.
So when you have a pastor that your mother tells you sometime vacation Bible school. My family was just glad I didn't have a dress on because I was just a little sweet boy. So she was like, Lord, if you don't put no dress on, we good. So to keep him close to something right, they send me to church. So I go to church and we paint the church, and of course at the end of the day all the other kids go home. Pastor gonna bring you home. Pastor bring you home. Every day, pastor bring you home, but you getting quieter and quieter to the point where you end up playing with your little 4 soldier men in your room. You don't want to come out this safety that you have at home because I don't want to tell my mom and daddy that the pastor, because this the pastor. You know, you got him up on this big pedestal. So now we growing up as adults. Now we see these kids isolating and introverting. You know. We know what we're looking at.
Yeah. And I just stayed up under my grandmother and nobody even questioned it. They just looked at, that's just grandma's baby. You know, it wasn't, she didn't even question it. It wasn't a red flag to go up to see, why are you up here? Why, when I tell you to go outside and play with other kids, when she closed the door, I would backtrack, just go in the backyard. I wouldn't go out and play with the rest of them. It's just,
Mr. Nash was
just me. Yeah, because Mr. Nash was out there. You know,
Mr. Nasty is real.
Yeah.
Is he in Jackson, Mississippi?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just speaking in general.
Yeah. Oh,
is there more of Mr. Nasty?
Yeah, they're coming up, and I think with some of them right now, if they are going through that, I think for some of them might think that that's normal, and they're not speaking out because they don't know anything else. And if you're in an environment like Amanda spoke of, it's the environment that's going on. How can you really just go to somebody and express that this is going on? If the person that's close to you is also too is sharing that because of the young people that's coming on. It's so common now with the younger generation that is coming up, and it's sad. Now for me, what I can recall on my thing was at a young age being molested by that teenage boy, and being in the flip side of that, I isolated myself and I stuck up on my grandmother. And my grandmother thought that, well, maybe. And I remember it was this program called the Big Brother program. And I remember her calling that program, and she felt like, well, maybe you just need somebody.
A mentor.
Flip side of that was at 12 years old, that mentor ended up molesting me also. Come to find out, you know, back in the days of pedophiles, they use places like that to go out there and fight.
Now, when parents do, they know now. They give you condoms, put you on the pill. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But if you've not laid that foundation of righteousness, of some type of stability where you're saying, this is a foundation. I'm not saying you got what particular God you got to believe in, because I don't want to do that. But if you lay a foundation and then you give them the tools they need to go out there, because some parents give you condoms and give you pills, that in the child's mind, they mean go have sex.
You know, you can do it.
But if I hadn't told you, oh, by the way, there's stuff out there that your penis could fall off and your vagina could turn to something you ain't recognize, they don't tell them that. Then when they get it, now you can't come home and tell mama, because now mama feel bad because mama didn't tell you everything. Now she's on the defense because she didn't do what she was supposed to do. But guess what? Her mama didn't do what she was supposed to do.
Exactly.
And it's this fight.
Why do you think, what's so hard about asking for a condom in the bedroom? Why do we not ask for a condom in the bedroom? Can you imagine?
All right, let's just put it out there.